Minneapolis-Moline UDLX. In 1938, as America was emerging from the shadows of the Great Depression, the fields of the Midwest still echoed with the rough sounds of engines. Farmers needed a powerful tool, but they also dreamed of comfort and modernity. Minneapolis-Moline, a tractor manufacturer based in Minnesota, decided to create a machine unlike any other, the UDLX Comfort Tractor. This was the world's first tractor with an enclosed cabin, windshield, radio, and even a heating system. At launch, it sold for around $2,155, twice the price of a regular tractor. Only about 150 units were produced, making it a rare legend among collectors. Today, a UDLX can fetch up to $150,000 at auction. The UDLX was popular on large farms across the plains and prairies. But it was its bold vision, ahead of its time, that made it an icon, a machine that was half tractor, half automobile. The UDLX was powered by a 4-cylinder gasoline engine, 283 cubic inches, delivering about 46 PTO horsepower and 37 drawbar horsepower, enough to pull a 3-bottom plow. Maximum engine speed was 1,500 revolutions per minute. The transmission had 6 forward gears and 2 reverse, with a top speed of 40 km per hour, a rare figure for tractors of that era. Fuel capacity was 22 gallons, nearly 83 liters. It weighed almost 2.9 tons, with a sturdy frame. Compared to the bare-bones tractors of the time, the UDLX was an odd bird, wrapped in rounded steel panels reminiscent of 1930s sedans. With the cabin doors closed, the driver heard the engine faintly from the front instead of roaring in the open air. The smell of gasoline and oil lingered, but no longer did smoke and dust coat the face. Leather seats, a windshield that could open for fresh air. On the dashboard, something rare, an AM radio playing country tunes, easing the monotony. A farmer could leave the fields and drive the UDLX straight into town, parking in front of the grocery store like a car. Children gathered around, calling it the farm car. The driving experience was both powerful and unusual. Pressing the throttle made the tractor body vibrate steadily, the sound resonating through the cabin glass. On dirt roads, dust rose from the massive rear wheels, while the windshield still kept the view clear. The UDLX appeared just as Americans began dreaming of comfort even in the fields. But its price was far too high for most farmers. Instead of becoming the new standard, it turned into a tale, a testament to the dream of luxury mechanization in rural America. Though a commercial failure, the UDLX left a special legacy. It paved the way for the idea of tractors that were safe and comfortable for drivers. Later generations of tractors, from John Deere to Case, all adopted enclosed cabs and amenities. Today, whenever a UDLX appears at an exhibition, yellow light shining on its weathered paint, it evokes memories of resilience, when farmers needed not only a tool, but also the dignity of being treated like real drivers. The Minneapolis-Moline UDLX, the comfort tractor ahead of its time. It did not succeed commercially, but became an immortal symbol of boldness and the rural American dream. One image remains, the golden tractor rolling along a red dirt road, through endless cornfields. Behind the glass of the cabin, a farmer sits upright, the radio echoing during harvest season. But the UDLX, though ahead of its time, remained only a brief dream. By the 1960s, the vision of America's agricultural future rose again, with a tractor that looked like nothing less than a supercar of the highway. International Harvester HT340. In 1961, America was bursting with faith in science and space. On TV, John F. Kennedy spoke of the race to the moon. Out on the prairies, however, tractors still struggled with their heavy work. In this wave of innovation, International Harvester, headquartered in Chicago, decided to experiment with something bold, the HT340, a concept model powered by a gas turbine engine. This was not a mass-produced tractor. It was only a prototype displayed at the state fair, meant to show a vision of the future of agriculture. Only a single unit was ever built. Today, it rests in the Navistar Museum collection, a testament to dreams of high-speed agricultural technology. When it debuted, the crowd was astonished: a glossy blue body, a curved windshield like an Italian sports car. If the UDLX once amazed with its enclosed cabin, the HT340 went even further. It looked like a Corvette lost in a cornfield. The HT340 was equipped with a Lycoming gas turbine engine, the kind used in helicopters and light aircraft. It produced 85 PTO horsepower, far superior to standard tractors of the time. It had a 4-speed transmission, with a top speed of over 50 km per hour, twice as fast as typical farm tractors. Fuel capacity was 33 gallons, over 120 liters. Weighing about 1.8 tons, it featured a fiberglass body. This machine differed not only in its engine. It had a car-like dashboard, a compact steering wheel, sport seats, and a full one-piece windshield. When started, the HT340 did not produce the familiar chugging of cylinders, but instead shrieked like a jet taking off. The sound was sharp, soaring. The barley fields trembled with the tones of the future. No more clouds of black diesel smoke. Instead, hot air blew out from the turbine exhaust. The driver sat behind clear glass, feeling as though driving a race car. Hands on the small steering wheel, foot on the throttle, and the super tractor roared across the red dirt road. That experience, for many farmers at the time, was pure science fiction, a farm machine carrying the soul of an airplane. The HT340 never left the showroom floor. The reason was simple: turbine engines consumed too much fuel, were difficult to maintain, and cost far beyond farmers' reach. But it left a deep cultural mark. In American memory, the HT340 is a symbol of the optimistic and daring 1960s, when every industry wanted to prove that the future would be brighter, faster, more comfortable. For collectors today, the HT340 is like a piece of industrial art. It speaks not only of agriculture, but of the dream of bringing space-age technology to the fields. The International Harvester HT340, the supercar tractor of an optimistic age. It never plowed a single field, but it planted in the minds of Americans a different image, that agriculture, too, could enter the jet age. That image still resonates: a blue machine, curved glass, turbine roar, rolling across golden wheat fields, as if rural America were dreaming the dream of the skies. If the HT340 was an image of a future unrealized, then after the war, American farmers once again needed smaller, more practical machines, serving directly in vegetable rows and orchards. And that is the story of the Allis-Chalmers Model G. Allis-Chalmers Model G. In 1948, America had just emerged from World War II, with millions of veterans returning home to start farming again from scratch. This was a time when agriculture expanded not only into large farms, but also saw a boom in small family farms focused on vegetables and orchards. In this context, Allis-Chalmers, based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, introduced a unique machine, the Model G. The initial price was only about $970, far cheaper than larger tractors. From 1948 to 1955, around 29,000 Model GS were produced. Today, on the collector's market, each can reach $10,000 to $20,000 depending on condition. The Model G was most popular in rural areas of the East and South, where small farms needed agility more than power. Over time, it became known as the Gardener's Tractor of America. The Allis-Chalmers Model G used a Continental N62 engine, per cylinder, 62 cubic inches, producing about 10 PTO horsepower and 9 drawbar horsepower, modest, but sufficient for tilling small plots. The transmission had 3 forward gears and 1 reverse. Maximum engine speed was 1,800 revolutions per minute. Fuel capacity was 5 gallons, 19 liters. It weighed only 350 kilograms, with compact dimensions and high clearance. Its special feature, the engine was mounted at the rear, while the driver's seat was positioned in the center, giving farmers a direct view of the implements at the front. This tractor was designed specifically for vegetables and narrow row crops. The driver could look straight down at young corn rows, tomato plants, or lines of broccoli without turning their head. The sound of the Continental engine was steady, lighter than that of its larger siblings. Thin gray smoke rose from the small exhaust at the back, while the view ahead remained clear and open. Farmers often said, "It's like driving a giant sewing machine, gently tracing the stitches of the field." The feeling was familiar and warm, not about roaring strength, but about finesse and precision. The Model G was born just when America needed affordable tractors for family farms. It represented the spirit of self-reliance. Small households could cultivate vegetables and sustain entire communities. Although production ceased after 1955 as needs changed, the Model G left a strong legacy. Many units ran well into the 1980s, and today they stand as symbols of small-scale, sustainable farming. Even in the wave of modern organic agriculture, the Model G has been revived by small companies, as its rear-engine, forward-view design remains ideal for growing clean vegetables. The Allis-Chalmers Model G, a small but useful machine. It did not create endless fields, but nurtured each row of vegetables, each garden, sustaining generations of American farm families. A familiar image: in the early morning, light smoke rises from the rear engine, the small wheels roll slowly, and the farmer looks down at young plants growing under the first sunlight of the day. But before such small and friendly machines existed, there had to be a strong foundation. A tractor that paved the way for mechanization of family farms, the Farmall Regular, the first symbol of modern American farmers. Farmall Regular. In 1924, America entered a new era of mechanized agriculture. Horses still pulled plows across the fields, but farmers were beginning to dream of machines that were stronger, more durable, and less exhausting to use. That same year, International Harvester introduced a revolutionary product, the Farmall Regular. This was the first multi-purpose tractor, capable of plowing, planting, and cultivating, replacing many horse-drawn tools of the past. The price was only $750, a level affordable to many families. From 1924 to 1932, more than 134,000 Farmall Regulars were produced. Today, each unit still in good working condition can fetch $15,000 to $20,000 on the collector's market. The Farmall Regular quickly spread across the Midwest and the South. It became the symbol of the family farm, the first tractor for tens of thousands of farmers in the 20th century. The Farmall Regular used a 4-cylinder gasoline engine, 221 cubic inches, producing about 20 PTO horsepower and 15 drawbar horsepower. Its transmission had 3 forward gears and 1 reverse. Top speed was 4.25 miles per hour, just enough for steady plowing. It weighed about 1.6 tons, with a high frame and narrow front wheels set close together, allowing precise steering between rows of corn or cotton. The fuel tank held 21 liters, sufficient for a full day's work in the fields. The Farmall Regular impressed with its tricycle design, 2 small front wheels placed close together, offering clear visibility and easy maneuvering. Farmers sat high above, with a clear view of the rows below. The engine rhythm echoed across the fields with its steady pop-pop-pop. Thin smoke rose, the smell of gasoline and oil mingling with the scent of dry grass. The simple iron seat rattled each time the plow dug into the soil. Though it had no comfort features, the Farmall Regular delivered something different: reliable power that allowed farmers to complete their work many times faster than with horses. The Farmall Regular marked the transition from animal power to machinery in American agriculture. It was not just a machine, but a symbol of progress. With its versatile design, farmers needed only one tractor instead of many crude tools. This helped fuel the wave of mechanization across small and medium-sized farms throughout the United States. The Farmall Regular also launched the legendary Farmall line, which continued for decades and became the foundation of the IH brand. Today, the red Regular is still displayed at rural fairs, a reminder of the historic moment when American farmers first entered the true age of machinery. The Farmall Regular, the first tractor of countless American families. It was not luxurious or bold, but a practical, durable tool that stood by farmers through every season. One lasting image, a man in a straw hat, sitting on a simple iron seat, driving the red Farmall between rows of green corn, the engine sound echoing into a summer afternoon. The Farmall Regular was a leap forward, but if we go back more than a decade earlier, we find the machine that gave birth to an entire empire, the Waterloo Boy Model N, the origin of the John Deere legend in the journey of rural America's mechanization. Waterloo Boy Model N. In 1917, the world was still caught in the storm of World War I. In America, farmers faced the need to produce more, faster, to feed an industrializing nation. In that setting, in Waterloo, Iowa, the Waterloo Gasoline Engine Company introduced the Waterloo Boy Model N. Its launch price was about $700, not a small sum, but attractive for those looking to replace horsepower. Between 1917 and 1924, more than 8,000 units were produced. Today, the Waterloo Boy Model N has become a treasure at auctions, reaching values of $40,000 to $70,000 depending on condition. It was also the tractor that won over John Deere. In 1918, Deere purchased the Waterloo Company, and from then on, the Deere brand entered the tractor era, beginning with the Model N itself. The Waterloo Boy Model N was equipped with a two-cylinder gasoline-kerosene engine, 465 cubic inches, producing about 12 PTO horsepower and 25 drawbar horsepower. Its maximum engine speed was only 750 revolutions per minute, slow but steady. The transmission had 2 forward gears and 1 reverse. Fuel capacity was about 22 gallons. Weight was nearly 1.5 tons. Its design was simple, a straight steel frame, large rear wheels, and small front wheels, a shape that would later become the standard for American tractors. Starting the Model N was a ritual. The driver cranked the front shaft by hand, hearing the thump, thump, from the big 2 cylinders. The engine started on gasoline, then switched to kerosene for efficiency. The distinctive chuff-chuff echoed across the fields. The smell of burning kerosene drifted in the wind. The simple seat shook as the machine moved forward. Farmers steered the small front wheels, feeling every vibration of the earth beneath the steel tires. It was not comfort, but a new sensation. Instead of leading horses, now a steel machine was replacing human and animal strength. The Waterloo Boy Model N was the torch that lit the beginning of the John Deere tractor era. From a plow manufacturer, Deere became a tractor giant, thanks to the purchase of Waterloo and the Model N. In the memory of rural America, the Waterloo Boy symbolized a great transition from horse-drawn plows to engines. It freed labor, increased productivity, and paved the way for widespread mechanization in the countryside. Even today, whenever a Model N is started at an exhibition, the thump-thump of its 2 cylinders makes the elderly smile, remembering the dawn of a new age. The Waterloo Boy Model N, a simple machine, but one that gave birth to a legend. Not glamorous, not comfortable, yet it laid the first stone for the mechanization of American agriculture and for the John Deere legacy that has lasted more than a century. The image remains, a green-painted machine, steel wheels rolling slowly across an Iowa field, kerosene smoke drifting in the wind, opening a new era for American farmers. And now, it's your turn. Of the 5 tractors just mentioned, which one do you remember most? Share your memory, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to keep alive these immortal stories of the countryside.